Okay, let's begin. Here's what a fresh Laravel app looks like, and it can be a little overwhelming. There's a lot of moving parts here. I see models, I see controllers, I see views, I see routes. There's a lot going on here. But again, do not be overwhelmed. We'll take this one step at a time, and I promise you're going to figure it out in no time. Why don't we start with something really easy? If I boot up a server, and we learned how to do this already, PHP artisan serve, I can command click on this URL, and here's the splash page you get with any new Laravel app. Let's figure out how, where, and when this file gets loaded. Your first stop is going to be this routes directory. Let's have a look. You're going to see a few different ones, but for now, focus on web. Think of this as your web or browser-specific routes. One thing I really love about Laravel is how intuitive and easy it is to understand. Even with no understanding of the framework, you can still probably figure out what's going on here. Have a look. Make a route, and when the user gets / well, that's always the home page, then we're running a function, and that function returns a view, and it looks like the view's name is called welcome. Okay, when you get the home page, load the welcome view. Now, for now, think of view as something the user sees. It is something you can view with your eyes. And usually that translates to the HTML. That's our next step. If routes are in this routes directory, then your views will be in the resources views directory. And have a look. Welcome. They match. But notice I didn't have to say welcome.blade.php. You never need to do that. Just do the first part. All right, and if we have a look, there it is. Lots of HTML here, but this is what you see here. Have a look. Laravel has a wonderful, thorough documentation. Let's look for it. There it is. We're all set. So why don't we try this? Here's what I think. This section for Laracast needs to be even more in your face. So why don't we make this section bold? All right. Let's see. All right, here's the Laracast section. So I will surround that in a strong tag. Come on back, refresh, and there we go. This is what I like to see. In fact, somebody should make an update to Laravel to make this always the case. Anyways, joking aside, you've now figured out a big piece of the puzzle. You've learned how a URL is translated into a piece of HTML. Once again, let's go through that process. This is really important. In your route/web file is where you declare every route that your application should respond to. So for example, if this did not exist, if I refresh the page, of course we get a 404 not found. Sorry, you don't have any route registered for the home page. So what are we supposed to do here? On the other hand, we could change this. We could say, well, if I visit /hello, then we load the welcome page. Now, if I give this a refresh, of course we still get a 404, but we now have an endpoint for hello. And there it is. Anyhow, I'll bring this back. When the user visits this URI, we can handle it by calling a function. At least that's one way we can handle it. Now you can return anything you want here. You could say hello world. And if we come back, let's return to the home page, give it a refresh, and now we see hello world. Okay, so this is very interesting. I can return a string here, and Laravel is still smart enough to translate it into the proper response. In fact, I can even return something like JSON. Foo is bar. And in the future, when you start learning about building APIs, this will be incredibly useful. Notice now, we are receiving JSON in response. And here's the raw data. How cool is that? But of course, in our case, we want to load some HTML. So we call this view function and we give it the name of the view that we want to load. And we're starting to figure this out. Let's keep going in the next episode.